Yes guys, welcome back to the Mids MB channel, where today I'm giving you a roundup of all the Premier League action for the month of October. So without further ado, let's get started. America. Thank you so much to my boy CEO Cops for the lovely montages. I'm going to be using them every single month, but make sure you guys go hit him up on Twitter. And yeah, let's get started and let's go talk about this guy. Yeah, let's talk about Rodri robbing the Ballon d'Or from the hands of Vinny Jr. As always, with these Premier League recaps, we're going to be splitting these videos into 3 different sections. Of course, first we have lessons learned. And the first lesson is that Ten Hag no longer has a job. I say this like I'm smiling, but someone got sacked at the end of the day. But he was not doing a great job. Yeah, he was not. So as you guys know, I've spoken about it on podcasts. I've spoken about it on this channel as well. I personally don't think Ten Hag was the man for Manchester United. The results were poor, and in the league, they are 14th place.
14, Jesus is Lord.
Yes, uncle, 14.
You know you can be prosecuted for that.
Now for a team like Manchester United, that is absolutely inexcusable. You cannot be 14th place, especially after 9 games, and have -3 goal difference. Like, really? It's been a stinker. Now ahead of the game on the weekend, Manchester United versus Chelsea, Ruud van Nistelrooy has stepped into the interim manager role, and it looks like they're going to get Ruben Amorim as a long-term manager. Now Ruben Amorim is definitely a manager that I personally like. I like the look of his team. Now a lot of people think he's a 3-back manager alone, but he's a very, very good young manager who knows what he's doing, and personally, I think he can bring Manchester United back to being a competitive force in the league. Now I'm not going to say title challenges straight away because that's ridiculous. But what I'm going to say is I think he can bring that competitiveness back to Manchester United. I think players like Rashford, Amad Diallo, Ugarte, who he's definitely worked with in the past, I think these guys might start cooking, and who knows where Manchester United can land themselves this season. But I want to hear from you guys. Who do you guys think Ruben Amorim is going to bring in as his first signing for Manchester United? Will it be Gyökeres? Will it be Pedro Gonçalves? Will it be Gonzalo Inacio? Who will it be? As you can tell, I've been doing, Portuguese on my Duolingo, hence the pronunciations and whatnot, but I'm not going to get into that. Let's go into lesson number 2. Lesson number 2 is that injuries can't seem to stop Manchester City. Now the picture on screen is of course Rodri holding up the Ballon d'Or trophy. I don't know if am I doing it right? Yeah, yeah, don't ask why I have this. Yeah, looks like I robbed Vinny Jr. too. But yes, an injury hit Manchester City are still unbeaten for the whole month of October. Now, they are unbeaten, but the performances, I don't know. They're getting the job over the line because that is of course what champions do. But they've been tightly run games. Adama Traore has blood on his hands. Honestly, Fulham could have easily beaten Manchester City if Traore just knew how to find the back of the net on a consistent basis. Like, if he was clinical, my light has just died, but we're gonna move on. If he was clinical, Manchester City would have lost that game. But yeah, 3 clear-cut chances and he failed to hit the net on every single occasion. Even against Wolves, it relied on John Stones' late header in injury time to secure all 3 points for the citizens. But hey, who knows? I personally think that they will be able to keep it up, but if they continue to get more and more injuries, I don't know. City's squad, they only have so much depth. So who knows? Will November see them pick up more injuries? Is the international break to blame? I'll let you guys decide in the comments below. Now, speaking of injuries, I think lesson number 3 is definitely that the international break is coming too fast. Every 3 or 4 games in the league, yeah, it's not great. We're not loving this. Me personally, as a Premier League fan, as a football fan, I'm not loving seeing a lot of international breaks, stop, start, and injuries are hitting teams, especially like Arsenal. Now, Arsenal have had they've had a month to kind of forget. Now, obviously, I touched on Manchester City having injury issues, but Arsenal have had 7 key players, maybe 6 if you don't really count Kieran Tierney, but key players such as Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Julian Timber, Takehiro Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, and others injured this past month. Not to mention, obviously, other teams have had injuries. There's a Sky Sports graphic I'm going to put on the screen right now, and I personally think that we haven't seen injury crises like this before. Now, of course, there have always been discussions about, the players are playing too much, UEFA only care about money, but I honestly think these players might be right, because simply as a fan as well, the international break every single 3-4 games in the Premier League is just annoying. Like, it's very, very annoying. The Premier League has this start stop element to it this year, which is a bit weird, and I personally think it might cause unprecedented things later on in the year. Now, again, there are only 9 games that have been played, but I personally think that with the way that City have been struck with injuries, Liverpool, Arsenal, all these other teams have been struck with so many injuries, I think it could make for a very interesting table come May. As you can see on the screen, Arsenal, they've had a torrid month, not only with the injuries but suspensions as well to William Saliba. Of course, losing against Bournemouth was a shock. It was something that the red card definitely produced. And even Arsenal drawing 2-2 at home against Liverpool. Saka obviously did come back. He was fit enough to play that game, but didn't even last the full 90. Julian Timber didn't last the full 90. Calafiori's out injured as well. I'm not too sure. For title chasing Arsenal, their injuries, I really hope isn't the bane of is it a bane of existence? These words just escape me. Long story short, I hope that these injuries don't tell the tale for this season and completely derail them for their title charge, because it'd be nice to see Arsenal win the league, and I think it's just a bit of a difference from Manchester City, and they're probably the closest ones to them. Now, just to wrap it up, just want to say a quick shout out to Everton and to Nottingham Forest too, because these 2 teams have had a great October. Now, again, in the month of October, and I guess adding a bit on to the end of September. Now, for Everton, the month of October, they haven't lost a game, and to be fair with you, their form has been picking up slowly and surely. They've been getting more and more comfortable, and I really hope that they can stay far away from the relegation zone this year. And Iliman Ndiaye, whew, what a player. For those of you that know, we've seen him at Rising Ballers, now doing it in the Premier League. That's all I can say. That's every boy's dream. So continue, you're crushing it, and hopefully Everton have an even better November. And for Forest, Chris Wood, yeah, he can't stop scoring. My FPL team is doing well. I'm eating. We're feasting here. Nuno Espirito Santo has got the players playing very, very well. Hudson-Odoi looks comfortable, and I'm not gonna lie, it's for seeing him get nominated for Premier League Manager of the Month for October, but we'll get onto that later. Time for part 2, which of course is VAR exposed. Ooh, VAR. What are we gonna do about VAR? Actually, you know what? This one isn't necessarily VAR exposed. This one is referees exposed. Now, the reason I say this is because, of course, there was all that controversy surrounding, the whole William Saliba incident. Some people thought it wasn't a red card. Some people thought it was a yellow card. Some people did think it was a red card because, his last man, Evan Nilsson, was clear on goal, but it was too far. My personal verdict is that, yes, it was a red card. However, that's not where my gripe is. My gripe is with the fact that certain things seem to only apply when certain teams play, and the rules just keep to change. It's always up for interpretation, and this semi-automated offside needs to come in. I don't know why it keeps getting delayed. We need it so the referee decisions are made quicker, it's made simpler, and they're more accurate. Semi-automated offside does not get it wrong. These referees do. But like I said, the William Saliba incident, who's playing? Oh, it's Arsenal. Red card. Adara Bioyo against Liverpool. Chelsea. Give me yellow. Van der Ven against Crystal Palace. Tottenham. Give him a yellow. These 3 incidents are all the same. Now, my only problem is that referees, when you set a precedent with one rule, especially early on in the season, you have to stick to it. You have to stick to it and not deter away from it. Now, the second incident I'm going to focus on was Manchester United against West Ham. And this penalty, I honestly don't know how I was given a penalty. It was the final nail, the final iron nail in Ten Hag's coffin, and personally I think it was very harsh. I think Manchester United fans can definitely have something to be angry about, because there was no way this was a penalty.
Lindelof mistimed his header. Ings goes down. Only momentarily.
It's that right shin, isn't it? If De Ligt comes in, makes the contact with Ings, doesn't win the ball.
And you know, since we like Arsenal on this channel, I don't understand how Konate's challenge on Martinelli was not a penalty when he clearly did not get the ball.
I think Havertz was in there. The ball's gone out of play and it remains 1-1.
You've seen it, but hey, look, I don't know. The refereeing in this league is definitely, it's abysmal, and it needs to improve rapido. Now, on to my personal favourite part of the show. It is the awards show, the third and final part of this Premier League recap. Now, for the Premier League Player of the Month for October, we have the following nominees. We have Bukayo Saka, we have Matt Sells, Danny Welbeck, Chris Wood, Cole Palmer, Brian Mbeumo, Josko Gvardiol, and Facundo Buonanotte. Now, all of these players, I'm not going to go too in depth into the stats of each player. I think I'm going to leave the link to that below in the Premier League. You know, you can go click on the Premier League website, vote for yourselves. I'll definitely probably have a little graphic on screen. If I don't, sorry. But for me, and I'm a fan of not giving it to, you know, always the top player from the top club, but I personally think it's definitely between someone like Gvardiol, because again, not only is he keeping clean sheets as a defender, but the guy is doing a great job getting forward and pitching in with goals like he's a forward. It's kind of crazy. He's just doing very, very crazy things right now. However, Chris Wood's goal scoring form. October's been a short month and he scored quite a few. So I'm gonna give it to Chris Wood. I'm gonna give him the Player of the Month award for October. I'm going to personally choose Chris Wood. You guys let me know in the comments below who you would choose for Premier League Player of the Month for October. And then next we go on to Premier League Manager of the Month, and nominees are as follows. We have Arne Slot, we have Hertzler, Pep Guardiola, and of course Nuno Espirito Santo. I just like saying that name, Espirito Santo. It's got a bit of a, you know, I don't know, a little something to it. A little, yeah. I'm never going to do that again. Anyways, for me, of course, Guardiola has gone the month unbeaten. So I think he is definitely going to get Premier League Manager of the Month. But I think, you know, Nuno Espirito Santo, what he's done with Nottingham Forest over the last, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks has definitely not gone under the radar. And I just want to give him his props. I think it will go to Guardiola. And I'll be honest with you, I think it should. I definitely think it should go to Guardiola. Because, again, he's unbeaten under the circumstances, without Rodri, without KDB, now without Savinho. I think it makes sense. He's done a very good job for Man City, and they could look back on this month come May if they do lift that trophy yet again. And lastly, my favourite section, Goal of the Month for October. And the nominations are as follows. Buonanotte strike against Bournemouth, Pereira strike against City, Doku's against Fulham, Garnacho versus Brentford, Ryan Christie's lovely set-piece goal against Arsenal, Josko Gvardiol's thunderstrike versus Wolves, Nicholas Jackson's goal against Newcastle, and lastly Bukayo Saka's goal against Liverpool. Now, one thing I want to say, Jamie Carragher said that the assist, or the pre-assist I guess, the pass from Palmer to Neto, who then assisted Nick Jackson for this Goal of the Month, was one of the best he's seen, if not the best Premier League pass he's seen. I think I can get the footage in. If I can't get the footage in, that's basically what he said. But hey, I'm just a football fan. I'm gonna leave it to the professionals and the pundits to do their punditry and whatnot. But that is definitely not gonna be Goal of the Month for me. Doku's goal, amazing. Pereira's goal, the assist for it was great as well. Buonanotte, silky little cut-in, dribble and shoot. Saka's goal as well. He had a lot to do and he had to, you know, carry the ball, cut past Robertson like he wasn't even there, and finish it top post. But I think I'm going to give it to, in fact, not even I think, I know. I'm going to give it to Josko Gvardiol because, again, he just has no business rassing it with his right foot, his weaker foot, from so far out like that. Like he's a left back. But he's actually a centre back. It makes no sense. But there we have it. Those are the awards. For the player of the month, I gave it to Chris Wood. For the manager of the month, I gave it to Pep Guardiola. And goal of the month, I gave it to Guardiola against Wolves. Now, as always, I'm going to be giving you guys these roundups every single month. Like I said, I've done it for the month of September. You can click here. I've done it for the month of August. You can click up here. There's a little banner if you're watching it on YouTube, on your phone, or on your laptop. There'll be a banner over there. If you're watching on your TV, it will definitely be in the link descriptions and description and link and all that stuff down there. But guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give it a like, thumbs up, so it can, you know, reach out there to more football lovers and more Premier League passionate fans like yourself. But before we go, as promised, I've given you guys an in real life video, a crossbar challenge I did with my friends. It was a crossbar challenge with a bit of a twist. So click here if you guys want to watch that video. But until then, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on all your notifications. And I will see you when I will see you. Peace.